Are we live? Okay. I mean, this could all be.
Yeah.
I think that's the cool thing is we don't have to be
rigid.
Yeah, because you can cut all this out.
Yeah. Or I can keep it all.
This will be like a blooper reel.
This is the intro.
Yeah, it should be. And keep in mind that we are completely ignorant and uneducated on everything we talk about. Yeah. So we're not trying to act like we're experts on any of this.
We are not. Okay, so for this segment, I'm going to flip the mic on you, and I'm going to pick your brain.
Hello.
That's Kenny right there.
Hi.
For those of you who don't know, Kenny is the talent buyer at 115 Bourbon Street.
Yes.
Which what that means is he books the band. That's the fancy word, talent buyer. Yeah. He buys the talent
with somebody else's money.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. He is like those people that buy clothes for people.
Yeah.
What are the personal shoppers?
I spend Bourbon Street's money.
Yes, that's what he does. I kind of want to pick your brain on, I guess it's etiquette on how to approach a talent buyer. Like, are there certain things that come across your email or people in person that get on your nerves? Are there certain things that are better for bands to do as far as with approaching you?
That's a good question, Tony.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
I don't mind, as far as emailing a club, or we get a lot of emails.
Yeah.
We get a lot of band submissions in various ways. Facebook, people still call, which is,
Bands still call?
Yeah, we still get calls.
To Bourbon Street?
Yeah, they'll call the front desk.
Wow.
And it's all over the board.
Wow.
Mostly email, though.
Yeah.
And, as far as that goes, I don't mind some persistence, as long as you might email a couple times before you get a response, or you may never get a response. But
for sure,
if you email, don't email and say, you emailed a couple times and then I would appreciate a response, blah, blah, blah. It's at the end of the day, you'll get a response if we're interested is my take. We don't have... there's a lot going on Bourbon Street. There's not enough time in the day to sit there and respond to every single thing.
For sure.
Now, everything does get looked at. So everything that comes through, I'll take a glance and see whatnot, or somebody will for me, and so everything is getting looked at.
Mm-hmm.
So it's I get a lot of, they'll email a few times. If I haven't responded, then all of a sudden I'm getting attitude in the emails. I could read
that's,
and it's it's a
ridiculous.
Little, yeah. It's would you do that if, you were following up on a job interview? Would you call back and be hey, fucking respond to me, asshole? It's not, I don't mind. You can email me once a week if it's cool. Hey, just checking in.
Yeah.
I just want to let you know what's going on with my band.
Yeah.
And, you could do that once a week. You can do it every day if you want. I don't mind the persistence because I think, in a lot of things that go on in the world, you got to be persistent. If you're trying to sell your band or your product, whatever you may be selling, it doesn't always happen the first time.
For sure.
So it's, another thing that I've seen happen is I've literally had somebody trying to book a band, act as their manager or agent or something.
Yeah.
To the point where I got a few emails, okay, and it's hey, I really want to get this band in there, blah blah blah, and it's whatever.
Right.
And then eventually, then this happened a few times over a few months course. I don't know this person. Mm-hmm. Never met. I did a little bit of research. I have no idea who it is.
Okay.
And then finally, I emailed because I knew the band.
Mm-hmm.
I knew I knew the guy.
Yeah.
So I sent him a message. I'm like, who is this person?
Yeah.
And it turns out it's just one of their fans. And I'm like,
oh my God.
Are you kidding me right now? I'm like, that's a little insane to me. So there's a random person, and that's kind of what I told him. I go, you got a random person
representing you,
trying to book you, but on top of that, giving me attitude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's that's not a one-time case. I've seen that happen before. So it's you as a band, make sure you know who's handling your business, or you might be getting a bad name and you don't even know.
You don't even know it.
You know what I'm saying? So like, make sure if you're a band, or if you're gonna trust your band with a manager or a booking agent, make sure you know exactly what's coming out of their mouth and how they're representing you.
We'll be right back.
So New Year's Eve is coming up pretty fast. There's a post on Bourbon Street's Facebook page. And basically, if you go on there and you tag somebody in the comments, we're gonna give away basically a raffle of a pair of tickets for New Year's.
Yeah.
So just to enter yourself, all you got to do is tag somebody in the comments, and then every time you tag somebody, you get an entry into the pool of raffleness.
So each name you tag is there you go. Each tag you do is like a raffle ticket.
Yeah, and then we'll. I think it'll end maybe the Friday before New Year's, and we'll post the winners on Facebook. But we'll also tag the winners so they'll know. We'll contact them.
Yeah.
But we'll publicly make a post saying these are the winners, or this is the winner. It'll be one winner, and you get 2 tickets.
Yeah.
So,
which is a steal.
And then, bourbon's, we've been talking about it. The package for New Year's Eve, $75, open bar 9 to 1. Dinner buffet, breakfast buffet, entertainment, the hair band nights up front, 80s hair metal. Mm-hmm. You got rendition in the saloon doing country plus dance, top 40 stuff. Mm-hmm. You also got DJ Gator in there, before and after rendition. And the performance hall is a giant nightclub, basically.
Yeah.
So you got, it's all dance music from open till close.
Yeah, and that includes import beers, Red Bull.
Oh yeah,
and pretty much every form of alcohol except for crazy top
Yeah,
shelf.
everything except for the super premiums like the Johnny Walker stuff.
Yeah.
Which I don't think we even carry anyway. So I don't think it would matter. But yeah, so check that post out so you can win some tickets to New Year's Eve.
Yeah, we'll tag it in this.
C105.
And we're back!
We now return to your regular programming.
This just popped in my head. So I don't think a lot of people realize, and I didn't realize this, when I was first starting in the cover band world, but all the bars talk to each other.
Yeah.
All the buyers talk to each other. So would that arise too, to where if, say, a band played some other club and you heard bad things about them from another club to say they were assholes. That's pretty much the biggest thing is like, if you hear that someone's an asshole and they contact you, and then does that happen a lot?
What it does, I do speak to a lot of other clubs, owners, agents, a lot of behind the scenes people that are booking for clubs or whatnot. Yeah. That line of communication is open. And I use it a lot, and a lot of people contact me as well to find out stuff.
For sure.
As far as does that have any effect? Yeah, if I hear that somebody's a jagoff at some other bar, I'm probably gonna shy away from them.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you fuck up at one place, that might cause a chain reaction,
domino effect,
depending on what actually happened.
Mm-hmm.
And there's 2 sides to every story.
Oh, for sure.
So it's like we've talked about on this podcast, I'm getting, I might be getting the drunk version of the story. What's the actual?
What's the real?
So you never know.
Yeah.
So I won't necessarily hear something like that and write that band off. Mm-hmm. But it'll definitely raise a red flag, and you want to kind of find out what the deal is.
For sure. Now, okay, with a place like Bourbon.
Yes.
Bourbon Street, 115 Bourbon Street.
Yes.
Do you have limited calendar space? You already, you have the bands that you work with already. So how hard is it for a newer band to get in? What do you look for? Do you look for, a good social media presence, bands that are working whatever shows they have? Are you looking for media, video, stuff like that? So say the band's only been around, say less than a year, say it's a baby band.
Yeah.
what advice could you give those bands to make it a little bit easier for them to get into the room at some point?
Here, back in the day at Bourbon Street, we used to run 2 stages, sort of a big stage and a small stage.
Yeah.
I used to be able to bring in smaller bands consistently. Not smaller bands, but newer bands. I had more freedom to try new shit.
Yeah.
I don't have that anymore. Like Bourbon Street, we've adapted to the time. Our rooms and our spaces have, certain things going on, and we're sort of consolidated all our main entertainment to the one big
front.
stage,
Yeah.
and that's a big room.
Yeah.
I mean, that room holds, there's a lot of furniture in there sometimes, but I mean, that thing, they could hold 1,200.
Yeah.
You could probably even get it up a little higher than that if we took tables out.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, it is hard to put a new band in because it's a big ass room.
Yeah.
So my advice now is, you gotta come in with one. It's got to be a good idea. It's got to be a good concept, to the point where it can draw based on the concept first. Meaning people are interested in
The idea.
of what that band is doing, exactly. So, so that, along with somebody that's going to, put the effort in, social media-wise, and I'm not talking about just posting shit, I'm talking about put some money on it, because we all know that if you don't put a little money on your boosted posts, and, it's not going to reach anybody.
Yeah.
Facebook doesn't allow it to reach anybody unless you put some money behind it.
Yeah.
So 100%. So it's got to be a great idea, and the band's got to be great too. But first time in, it's really the idea, the concept of the band that's going to draw.
Yeah.
If it's their very first show.
Yeah.
A lot of times, unless they're bringing, there's some bands that just have a lot of friends and family.
Yeah.
And that's if it's a band like that, maybe a band that's, based in the surrounding neighborhoods of Bourbon Street, that's another possibility too, that, we could take a chance on a newer act, but, so it's either, it's kind of one or the other. It's either it's an intriguing situation. For example, we could talk about maybe recent example would be Louder Now.
Yeah.
Okay, so Louder Now, first show in.
It was incredible.
Yeah, 400 or 500 people maybe, give or take.
Yeah.
But it was a good concept. They do the pop punk stuff.
The emo stuff.
Emo stuff. And I really the concept of the band, that in my opinion, that drew people, came and were intrigued by what they were doing.
Yeah.
And then once they were here, the band did their job and won those people over because they came in and played a second show and it was even better.
Yeah.
So I can tell, that there's something
There's
there.
something rolling.
Yeah. So that's a good example of what I'm talking about.
Well, that concludes part 1 of our talent buyer conversation with Kenny. Next week, we will do part 2. So tune in next week for the rest of that interview. And when we return, we are going to get the female perspective of playing in a cover band, dating somebody in a cover band, from Sara Kreyer. We will be right back.
So Bourbon Street does a huge singing competition, if you're not familiar, called The One. We're already on the 7th season of that.
Is it the 7th season?
I think so. But we've also started The One Junior, which is new this year. Basically, I think it's 3rd grade up to 20-year-olds.
I think it's 16. I think 16 is the cap.
Maybe. Yeah. We don't know what we're talking
We
about.
have no idea.
It's something like that.
Yeah. All the information's on the Bourbon Facebook page.
So we almost got, me and Tony are also judges for that, along with a few other people. But we've added one more. We almost have it all locked in, but we've added one more day, which is Wednesday, the 20th. If you're a singer, you could still come out and try out. Because we're actually looking for a few more people to get in. We always add an extra one. just to see if, just to make sure we got everybody.
Yeah. So there's no excuses.
Yeah. So that's Wednesday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. at 115 Bourbon Street. And you just, we prefer if you sign up online, 115bourbonstreet.com, before you come out. But in reality, you can just show up and we can sign you up on site at the prelim round. And all you're going to do is you're going to sing for a minute, a cappella, whatever you want, in front of me, Tony, and Pop-Tart.
Yeah.
So, do it.
Z105.
Now we're back!
We now return to your regular programming.
Yeah. I am using that.
Check, baby, check.
We should just do that for 15 minutes.
We should do a whole segment just talking like Beavis and Butthead.
Oh my God, Carrie will love that.
So, in the, I forget which episode, but we talked about, it was the first episode. So we talked about, I have no idea what we're doing. We talked about, the relationship side of being in a band and stuff. But obviously we're both guys.
Yes, we are.
So
we figured it was only fair to get
to
get the female perspective.
Yeah, so Sara, aka Pop-Tart, aka Tart, is here with us.
Yes.
So we're just gonna ask Sara stuff.
What's it like being a chick in a band?
In a band, but like dealing with guys.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm like,
So she's a girl, she's in a band, and now, so how is it dealing with, like, do you get, like, the groupies, but guys?
Mm-hmm. We do.
Is that how you met Tony?
Yes.
I was a groupie. It absolutely was.
So being in a band, you're a female singer. Do you have, like, guys that follow you at shows?
Yeah, we get that too. Just like you caught in my inbox, we get a bunch of we get a bunch of guys. They're not exactly as straightforward as girls can be sometimes with like jumping on you. It's just kind of like the small talk. Like for an example, one year New Year's Eve, I had a guy like 5 minutes before the countdown come up and stand right next to me, and I'm like,
For the kiss?
yeah. Yeah, I knew what he was getting at. He goes, my girlfriend's here somewhere. And I'm like, let me help you find her. He goes, no, it's cool. I'll chill here. I'm like, no, you won't.
This guy's thug life.
Did you kiss anybody?
I did, but not him.
Was it Mel Washington?
No.
That's
so,
awesome.
So the guys they're a little bit more like they're trying to be nice, but it's really they're still trying to get to the same point as like if a girl.
Yeah,
groupie.
like they try to be charming about it, and it's like 9 times out of 10, you think you have this charm and you just don't have it. It'll be like,
well,
when
hard.
are we getting a shot?
It's hard to be. It's hard for us to be charming. Do you prefer guys that have wives and girlfriends, or do you like your guys to be single? Your groupies.
Yes.
I'm like, hold on.
I feel like most of the time they're probably dating somebody or married.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the majority. The majority is, it's guys' night. I have a hall pass, and then
Have guys actually said hall pass?
yes.
There's no.
I've
Is that a
actually
real
had-
thing? Would you ever give Tony a hall pass?
No. I don't think I would get one either.
No.
I don't think that exists. That's not even real.
No. It was
The
a good movie.
was
The
funny.
movie was funny,
The
yeah.
movie was funny. No, yeah. I've actually had other musicians use that line on me. I have a hall pass.
Musicians are the worst. That's why.
They're assholes.
That's a good. Well, so do you get it more?
Oh yeah.
Did you get it more from like people in the crowd?
Do you get hit up more from fans or other musicians in other bands?
Yeah.
There's a sweet happy medium there.
Yeah.
Like I get a lot of, I want you to record on this, but I've never heard you sing. I'm like, cool. And then you get a bunch of guys at shows that are like, I want a picture with you. And it's like, okay, cool. But then they want to talk for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And find out where you're going to be afterwards.
Because I feel like if another musician like was trying to hit her up, they have like an in.
That's exactly
Like
what
you
I
have something.
did.
You have something to talk about.
That's what I did.
It was a segue because
Yeah.
Tony. That's how Tony was stalking Sarah.
Yes.
And now they've been together for
4 years.
a
Almost 4
long
years,
time.
yeah.
So it worked.
It worked.
Yeah.
So it does work sometimes.
It does
Yes.
work sometimes. Sometimes. It depends on.
Now, do you stalk any musicians? Like, are you a groupie for anybody?
Yes.
Does it work both ways?
It worked on me.
We bonded over Miley Cyrus. Like, that was
Wow.
our initial conversation. I made a post about her.
That's only natural.
And then
Yeah.
he like messaged me about it. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
But he messaged me about how much he liked her, and I'm like, that's fucking weird. Now we have to talk about this.
Does it get to the point to where, because like with a fan, you can kind of just be like, oh well, it's a fan, and
Yeah,
they don't
yeah.
have to be in your area. But if it's like another musician, can that get weird because you are almost forced to see them, or especially like during fest season?
Right, you
where,
have to
like,
deal. You have to kind of
You
be.
cross paths a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely easier to brush off a fan.
Yeah, sure.
And it's easier to be nicer to them, where it's like with a musician, it's kind of like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm not that stupid.
Yeah.
I'll be nice to you, but yeah, no, as soon as you start crossing the line, Tony's seen it. I have no problem telling someone to like fuck off.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Wow. That's good though.
yeah. It took me a while to get there though. But
Well, it's one of those things where it's like, you
You
know,
get to a point-
I wasn't an asshole either when I first started working here, but you become an asshole
yeah,
because of all, you know, just like anything else, just dealing with shit year after year,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden you like build up this like
you just get to a point where
not
it's
even
like,
caring. Not that I don't care. I mean, not giving a fuck would be
Yeah,
about
yeah.
certain things where you're just like you become very straightforward and. You know, and it's like this is how it is, and if you got to tell people to fuck off, you do sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the no bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But you do, I do agree. You,
It-
you
it
need
takes
to
a while.
build up to it.
Yeah.
But it's awesome once you get there.
It
feels
feels
good.
good.
Yeah.
It
It
feels
feels really good. Yeah. Female in a band, and now you date Tony here, who's in a band. How's that? So take yourself out of being. Now you're just a girlfriend, and you're dating a guy in a band. Is it hard? I mean, because you know what's going on, so it's a little different than what we talked about in the past. Because
Yeah.
you know you're in a band, but
Yeah.
is there any?
I mean, a lot of estrogen in a room kind of builds that jealousy anyway. So it's like whether it's intended or not, it just
Yeah.
happens.
I have my nipples been hurting lately, and I think I have high estrogen levels. Sorry, I'm being serious. Sorry to interrupt.
That's the perfect like pre-commercial break.
Go on. I'm sorry. It does though.
Oh my God.
Go on.
No, I think like there's that jealousy and there's that insecurity there naturally, just because.
You mean with other girls talking
yeah,
to
with
Tony
the
and
other,
stuff?
No,
Or-
like other girlfriends, like in the.
Oh,
like involved
I
with
see.
the band,
I see what
or-
you're saying. So you're talking about the interaction between
The
Yeah.
inner circle.
with
Yeah.
other guys in the band's girlfriends.
Yeah,
and that
yeah.
whole
No,
circle.
with fans and stuff, like a lot of times I've actually been the one to take the picture.
Yeah.
And like if it starts like feeling kind of weird, I just start including myself in the conversation. Or if it feels like it's not my place, I'll just kind of walk away.
Yeah,
'cause
yeah.
out of sight, out of mind a lot is the best policy,
Yeah.
where it's like, I'd rather just ask him later, like, was that weird or am I just being a girl? And
Well, you know, the other part of that is it's probably better to keep a little distance, in my opinion, because then you get to that point where, like, okay, say Tony, the show just got done and a couple girls want to take a picture with the band, and then maybe they want to do one with Tony separate.
yeah.
It's weird that you'd be like, 10 feet away, like staring them down.
Yeah.
Because it's really just, it's just innocent and.
Right.
Like we said before, it's part of it. Like,
Yeah.
talking to the people and interacting. These are the people that are keeping you in business.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
it'd be
Right.
very shady for a band to come off stage and not interact with the crowd
Right.
Yeah.
because their girlfriend or boyfriend's there.
Yeah.
I think it's very cool when the girlfriend or boyfriend, like you just said, you'll take the picture and you interact. Maybe you talk to them too. Like, why? It's like, why does everything got to be like so ridiculous
I
sometimes.
think if
you know?
anything, it kind of helps if like the girlfriend or boyfriend, like in my case, it helps when he's at one of my shows because like if it's a fan or if it's someone else, like he's good at talking to people too.
Yeah.
And I think we're both pretty approachable people, so I think that helps a lot. Where like if a girl comes up and she's kind of acting like giddy, like whatever, okay, that's my bathroom break. Like, I mean, because. I know some girls like to give the stank face, and I've had moments where I've done that
I've
in the
seen
past.
it. I think you gave it to me once.
I did.
When I was
Like, why are you
talking
grabbing my boyfriend's foot? Like,
Yeah.
this is weird.
Yeah.
No, like I've had moments, but I like, you know, you get to that point where it's kind of like, is it really worth it standing here giving stank face and making everybody uncomfortable, or is it better to just eliminate myself and, you know, deal
Right,
with it? And
right.
you know, you deal with it once, you start learning how to deal with it on and on and on. Where
Yeah. Yeah.
I know.
So it is doable.
It is.
I mean,
yeah.
it's just really.
It's do you want to adjust and
Right.
do you want to embrace what you walked into, or
Yeah.
do you want to stay there and make yourself look crazy and be
Right.
calling everybody, texting everybody, and
Yeah.
So it's like I said, it's easier for you guys because you're both
Yeah.
in bands and whatnot.
get
So it's easier for you guys to understand each other's situations. So I do understand the alternative where it's like the guy or you're dating someone that is completely separate from
Yeah.
the band scene. Versus you guys,
I've
who-
had
you guys know like we
Yeah.
We've
said,
been
the-
around,
The cover
yeah.
band scene in Chicago it's pretty small world. Everybody kind of knows everybody
Right.
Yeah.
and whatnot. So it's
it's
like
all pretty incestual.
yeah,
that way.
everybody knows who's talking to who or who has
Right.
talked to
And
somebody.
everything gets back to everybody.
Yeah, and everything.
Yeah.
To make it easier, I'm just gonna try to sleep with everybody. So then no one could say like, oh, I slept with them and blah blah blah. Guys, girls.
Just gonna
Just I'm gonna
He's
get
just gonna
everybody.
go Harvey Weinstein on it. Just like, come on, guys.
That way, no one can say anything because then you slept with everybody.
Yeah,
There's-
so-
it eliminates all the he said, she said.
It makes it
It's
like,
just-
well, what's the big deal?
yeah.
So did
It's
I.
like Kenny sleeps with everyone, so so it's cool. You're not special.
So you guys said when we did the DM stuff a couple of weeks ago, or no, actually this was in the first podcast. You said that you and Sarah let each other read your phones,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Your messages or whatnot.
Yeah.
So Sarah, do you read them? Or is it just like you can if you want to, or do you actually check
It's kind
each
of
other's
both.
phone?
Yeah.
It's kind of both. I mean,
Is it part of the morning routine where
yes.
you wake
every
up,
day.
I'm gonna go through Tony's phone, and then he does the same.
No, yeah, that's what we do over breakfast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, hey, babe, what'd you get last night?
Yeah.
No, I mean, like I said, I'm still a girl. I have my moments where I've been like, okay, I'm gonna look, and I'll flat out ask him. Like, if there's anything I find that I think is strange, I'll actually ask him, and then we talk about it, and then
Yeah.
it's done. And it's like, at the end of the day, it's kind of how he ends up handling the situation. It's not so much like what other people are saying, or
Yeah.
and vice versa. Like if a guy's being married, 9 times out of 10, I'll look at the message and just not respond.
Yeah.
And he does that sometimes too. And so it's like, it is a good peace of mind to know each other's passwords, and just like, given the industry especially, just having it there. And I don't know, I think it feels like a little safety net if there is like an
Right.
ounce of insecurity.
Knowing
one
you
day.
can look if you want.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like. I feel like if it was like you knew you could easily, you've been given that freedom,
It's
that
like
you
riding
almost
a-
wouldn't even look at it.
I hardly ever look at hers.
Yeah, I mean,
but I
it's
have
almost
access
like-
to it.
Yeah.
It's just like like you said, it's
Yeah.
more of the peace of mind. Like,
Yeah.
well, I have access to it too.
Yeah.
So
Now Tony, he's recently been getting DMs from guys. I don't know if that's because of what happened. We were talking about with my shit.
We
I
were
feel
talking
like-
about girls
No.
messaging you. I actually shared the podcast and said, ladies, reach out to Kenny.
Yeah, but now the opposite. What is happening now is
You're
now
getting more guys.
No. Tony's now
I'm
guys
getting
are
guys.
now guys are DMing Tony.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So would you rather a guy DM Tony or a female?
You know what?
I'm not talking like DM like about band stuff. I'm talking about like wanting to hang out.
Yeah. I almost feel, I don't know. Like,
Because Tony
it's
wouldn't have a
flattering.
problem if a female tried to hang out with you, maybe. That's
I've
what
actually
I mean.
shown him. There was something like 2 years ago. I played a show. It was somewhere out of town. It was Peoria or Rockford. And I got home the next day and I had like a chick hitting me up.
Shit.
And it was pretty straightforward.
Do we still have it still?
I don't. That was one of the ones I deleted because it made me really uncomfortable. Because I'm like,
So
I
lame.
just
Peoria.
don't.
Peoria. It sounds like Peoria.
It had to be Peoria.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I might have gotten too playful with a chick. Who knows? But I was,
And I wasn't there, mother.
Yeah. Mel Washington was
Sorry.
there.
No,
though.
Washington.
and he was probably in the corner rolling his eyes, like,
Yeah.
he's like, I'm too old for this. Like, I'm pretty sure there have been a few times where he's looked at me like, what are you, 12?
Yeah.
It's so strange to me. I've never get dudes messaging me, and then since that podcast,
That's really
You were
probably-
just getting it
like
a
minutes
half hour
ago.
ago.
yeah,
And it was quite a lot.
it was a lot.
That-
It was
that was a lot to take in.
There's about 3 or 4 a day,
Yeah.
and then they just keep going. And I feel like I'm her with the inbox.
Hi.
But then it's like I feel like I'm you because they're
Yeah.
dudes. I mean, nothing but
I
love.
don't know.
We're
Yeah.
gonna do the DM thing again, but we're gonna let some time go by so we could build up some more
Yeah.
Yeah.
messages,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
we'll do the game again. But this time we can read yours too.
Mine.
So we
we'll
can
do mine
Oh my
instead.
God, when you get more
Yeah.
boys, why don't I come in and I can read them and guess if it's
If
yours
it's-
or yours?
That's what that would be good. So we'll read them, ours to Sarah, and then she can decide which guy DM'd us.
Yes.
That's funny.
Or
Yeah.
something like
Oh
that.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, in the DM box, I think it's kind of funny either way because gay guys especially are very forward.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Very forward.
Yeah.
But it only makes me feel weird when it's like, oh, you're his girlfriend? Well, he's going to be mine tonight. Like, we have
That's
run into
happened.
that
That's
so
happened.
much
Yeah.
here. And I'm
They
like,
don't care.
No.
They don't. And it's kind of like,
That's
not
why
even.
I love them.
Yeah.
They don't care.
They don't give a shit.
It's funny
Yeah.
to a point, but when you laugh at it, they like keep going.
Yeah.
And then it just makes you uncomfortable. It's kind of like, no, like he's into girls. Like it's
See,
cool
that's what I
you
love.
do,
I
but
love about like gay dudes is like
they just don't care.
because they don't care about what the female thinks. Like she's just saying, like
Yeah.
like a regular dude can't just talk like that, but they
Yeah.
can come
Yeah.
in and that's why they rule the world, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're
Because they're like the ultimate like
well. That's why I
No
was
bullshit.
friends.
nobody could fuck with them.
Yeah.
It's cool and all until you mac on my boyfriend, like really forward. Like they'll get into description of what they want to do, and I'm
Hey.
like, dude, I can't even get him to do that
Nope.
to me.
Nope. Well, in all fairness, you don't have a penis. So
Do you not?
Surprise.
So while we got Sarah here, let's talk about like the show. Like, okay, meaning what I mean by that is, I've heard this before in the industry, and we've talked about it, where being a female in the band, so up on stage fronting the band, so female fronted cover band. Do you feel, Sarah? Do you feel like the female customers in the crowd, do they like seeing a female up there, or are they say you're looking good? Are they intimidated? Meaning they're not gonna, they're gonna be like, "Who the fuck is this bitch? Think she is?"
Yeah.
Type thing. Or is it like? So basically, what I'm saying is it good or bad in your opinion for the bar, for the band? Because essentially, you want to draw as many people. So.
Yeah.
My question is: are you turning off females, or is there a way to come off on stage where you're not? Sort of, I
yes.
guess.
Yeah.
I think I was actually with building the band that I'm in now. I have to think about that a lot because I've been the sole front, and it's something Tony and I have talked about. And like the last band I was in, it was all like sex sells, and you could actually see sometimes girls pulling their boyfriends away because they don't want their boyfriend looking at that.
That's what I'm-
If
yeah,
you're, it's
right.
how you carry yourself, I think. Like, I like kind of gearing as the entertainer as the playful sexy, but if I'm singing a song like that's supposed to be directed at a guy, I'll sing it to a girl instead because I feel like if you can get her to enjoy herself,
Yeah.
then her friends will have fun, and then
Right.
where I've actually been turned off watching bands where it's like the girl's up there, she's the only one in the band. She does look good, but she's also moving like not a stripper, but moving like a stripper. You
Yeah,
know, like
yeah.
she's still got the sex sells thing, and it's like that's okay, but don't do that the whole time
Right.
because as a woman, it's like I want to hear you sing.
Yeah.
Like I want like show me why you're up there and show me,
Like more like the woman empowerment thing
Yeah,
as opposed to
yeah.
the woman
I really, yes.
sexual.
Yes, yeah.
It's more, to me, it's like being a good front man in general. Front man, front woman is like, it's a personality.
Right.
Connecting with the crowd thing.
Right.
Because like you're saying, like, yeah, you can go up there and look sexy, but now you're turning off half the room. Like if all these guys are there and their girlfriends are
If
getting
you
pissy.
look sexy and act
That's
sexy.
what I'm saying. You could do both.
It's like you can look sexy and not act sexy.
Right.
Like I used to have to dress almost half naked, but I
Yeah.
would throw pigtails in to
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
play it down,
Yeah.
and there are ways to, I think, sell it to women to keep the girls there who will keep the guys
Yeah.
there. And
essentially, obviously, I think the biggest thing would be if you're a fucking great fucking singer first.
Yeah.
But I do think, in my opinion, I think you are up against a wall to start. Like, I think that, in my opinion, the women at first are gonna not like you
They're gonna go,
automatic,
"What is-"
right?
oh, yeah, no.
I mean, you as a woman would
you get
agree, right?
haters. You absolutely
She
get
sees you up,
haters.
like, before the show starts, you walk up, she's like, I hate her.
Yeah.
But now you got a winner.
But it's like now
Yeah.
you got to sell it to
But
her.
if you win her, then
And if-
now you might be even more valuable than
Absolutely.
male.
Right.
singer.
Absolutely.
And if you're up there with like boobs, belly, and legs out, there's no shot in hell that the girls are gonna want you to stay up there. Like
Yeah.
that's always kind of been my rule. Like if my boobs are out, my stomach's covered, and vice versa. You know what I mean? Like just if my legs are out, everything.
So you can
else
only
is
show
covered.
one piece.
Yeah, I think if you leave some to the imagination,
I was
I
just
think
gonna
it's
say
a bigger
that.
turn on.
Yeah.
I think if you're up there, you can be a great singer, but every girl in the crowd is gonna be up there like, well, that bitch is hotter than me, and I don't give a fuck. I'm going to the club. Like,
Right.
Especially here at Bourbon, they have multiple rooms they can turn to.
Yeah.
That's essentially what I'm saying. Like, and there's no. Again, this is like a theory, and I'm sure we're not the only ones to have this conversation. But
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
there is something
there's-
there. It
yeah.
is. It is.
It's true.
A little. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. If you could win over that whole group as a female singer.
Yeah.
Or as a band as a whole.
Yeah.
I mean, that should be the goal.
Right.
Is because like you said, that's where it separates the great bands from the
Right.
fucking amazing bands.
And especially good interaction between the female and the other band members.
Well,
same thing with-
exactly.
yeah.
Like
Without-
she just said, like focusing your attention on some like the females in the crowd. I think that's a good. Yeah.
Find the girls in the front who are having a blast while the guy is singing or like whatever.
Yeah.
And then go up and keep selling them.
Yeah.
Like focus on the ones that are already in there
Yeah,
and
yeah.
engaged and grab them, and then it'll be contagious.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I've seen it happen where it's like I'm getting a hater right in the front row.
Yeah.
Because I turned around and had my butt to the crowd because
Yeah.
it was part of the show. I turned around and I see the stink face, and I went right up to her and I threw the mic in her face, and she got right back into the show. Like
Yeah.
she was just,
Yeah.
it's just, no, I'm sorry, it wasn't towards you.
Right, right.
My bad.
Well, that's good, and I think that's good. That's good for I think something that unfortunately that female singers need to think about a little for cover band stuff.
For sure.
Just
Especially that,
For
because
sure.
it's like people want to hear the music and they want to, like, hear you do it with justice, not just go up there, look cute, and
Yeah.
like, we have that advantage as women. I was just telling you guys this a second ago, but we have that advantage with like just walking up there holding a microphone with our hair and makeup done,
Right.
and we're gonna turn guys on.
right. That's what we were
You
saying.
know.
Yeah.
Guys are easy.
Guys are so
Female,
easy
they're-
to
you're-
sell.
You don't. It's the women, and the whole bar industry is based on getting
Women in the
Right.
bar.
females into the bar. So guys are gonna show up. We're stupid.
And
Yeah.
I bartend too, so it's like I know that part of it too.
Sure, it's the
It's
same
like,
thing.
Yeah.
If a couple walks in, I absolutely greet the chick first.
Oh
because
yeah.
it's like
yeah. Like you're right. That's a good comparison. Like because the whole bar industry, it's all the same. Like what you
Yeah.
just said. Like you being the bartender, or if you're in the band, or whatever, a
Yeah.
cocktail waitress, anything, a shot girl. It's all the same thing we're talking about
Yeah.
here. And it's like whoever you're gonna make the most money in any of those situations. If you're able to win
Girls.
win over
The
the girl,
women.
if you're a female and you're able to win over other females,
Yeah.
you are gonna be.
especially
your
if the
goal.
guys
Yeah,
pay.
your-
I think as long as like girls in bands, if they can get up there and focus, or even bartenders, if you focus more on like the social aspect, like the having fun part versus I have to be sexy and I have to like.
And not too like you just said, you can't be flirty with the guy when his
Right.
girlfriend's there.
There's
or
a way.
whatever.
There's
Yeah.
a way to be playful without being flirty, and
Yeah.
it's like everyone's different. So it's just finding that in you to be like, without being,
Right.
Well, that wraps up this episode of the podcast here. Please join us next week as we do part 2 of the Talent Buyer interview with Kenny. And then we're also going to revisit the DM, the direct message conversation. We're going to play the game again where I have to guess whether it's Kenny's inbox or if it's Sarah's inbox. But we're also going to delve a little bit further into the messages themselves. So please keep sharing and commenting, and we will see you next week.